Welcome to a fantasy game plan, week 16. These guys are in it. Some guys are out. I've been out, so I'm just doing my job.
Don't sell yourself short. You're a tremendous slouch.
How's your other league?
Well, I'm out of that too. I'm cheerleading.
No more leagues.
So in the JGR League, you happen to be looking at one of the fantasy championship participants. Unfortunately, it's this guy right here. Yours truly, the #1 seed, got knocked out for the 3rd time this year. I lost to the director. And Peyton Manning and company, and I hate to tell you, it was a cakewalk last night. Yahoo gave me a 99% chance of winning, and guess what? I lost thanks to 30 points to Mr.
Pern's all tuckered out.
You got to bring the director up.
I'd like to bring the director up. Justin Tucker and his 6 field goals. Mr. Director is going to do his simulation.
61-yarder.
Okay, yeah. 61-yarder. Do that 6 times. So, knocked out of a championship by a flipping kicker. I was in 2 games for the championship, both going against Justin Tucker. Fortunately, I had a big enough lead in one of them. Sorry, Reeb. My DC league, I'm in the championship against Moose. This guy right here is in the JGR. He's in 2 championships also.
Freak Unleashed.
They don't call you the guru for nothing.
So, still licking my chops from last night. So Justin Tucker, I got my voodoo doll for Justin Tucker that I'm going to grind into.
That was a tough loss, losing to a kicker on a Monday night.
On a 61-yarder. How clutch was that?
You called it, though. You did call it.
Well, part of it was naysayer, but I did say the conditions were, hey, Detroit gives up a lot of points to kickers, and Tucker's going to have a big night. I had hoped it wasn't going to be that big.
Yeah.
I hate to talk about it, but your hat reminded me we got to talk about the Redskins.
Got to.
Can you do it?
I know you kind of wore out,
talk about the Redskins
as the Redskins turn, that drama down there.
Drama.
But, we got a new quarterback in town there. Kirk Cousins had an unbelievable day. Could have won it. They went for 2 instead of the field goal to go in overtime. What do you think about that? Do you think they should have went for 2?
When you're 3-10, you can do that. I'd say, given the new overtime rules, that was probably a stupid call because you get into overtime and you got a good chance to win the game, especially with the momentum on your side. How about Kirk Cousins? Before we went live, there was talk of Kirk Cousins being picked up off waivers and placed into fantasy bowls. Tell me you're not saying that for real.
In my other league, the guy I'm playing just is picking him up and he's starting him over Andrew Luck. I was going to start him over Phillip Rivers. Now I got to worry about Kirk Cousins.
I've got Romo and I've got Kirk Cousins, and they're playing each other. Do I honestly consider benching the guy that brought? Well, he didn't get me there. Jamal Charles got me there, but
I think you might have to consider it. The guy's hot.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think that's crazy.
Nothing to play for, just to keep throwing touchdowns.
You're playing the Cowgirls at home, as you know. This game right here, you can throw all the stats out of the window. If the Redskins, if we beat the Cowgirls, then,
absolutely.
Hey.
All is well in the world.
There it is, man.
Speaking, I did mention Jamal Charles. We do want to give a shout out to Jamal Charles owners. I think we can call Fantasy Bowl this year the Jamal Charles Bowl, because chances are if you have him and you made the playoffs, you're in. I'm riding his back. I got McCoy and Charles is my backfield. So does he in one of his leagues, and I'm excited about that. So Jamal Charles, probably the #1 pick next year, I would say, by the way, hands down. AP maybe comes back this week. It's an exciting week again. If you're watching, it means you're still engaged, which means you're probably in a fantasy bowl. So best of luck to you. Don't get cute. Don't start.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Picking up quarterbacks on waivers.
Don't get cute unless you think you don't have a chance, and you got to get cute and go for the boom or bust play.
If you're playing a big dog, you might want to consider that. But in my case, I haven't changed my lineup in 5 weeks. I'm not touching anything. Everyone's staying in. I'm locked and loaded. Take a look at the weather. That's the only thing you might want to consider. If you got 6 inches of snow somewhere, you might want to switch out your kicker. Let's talk about some games this week. What do we got, Director?
I have nothing. You guys have.
Well, we got Carolina
here.
And New Orleans.
Let me do a preamble. I can't give too much advice because I'm playing this guy sitting behind the camera, so I can't give away my secrets.
I think he's safe. We do have a good one. Carolina with New Orleans, and let me tell you, Jimmy Graham really let a lot of people down in the playoffs. Should we be concerned, or was that a one-game anomaly?
I think it was a one-game anomaly, but they're facing the Panthers again, who are pretty good. Kuechly's a really good linebacker.
Yeah.
Panthers are upset. They got embarrassed last time on national TV. I don't know. Panthers at home, I don't think that's a big advantage. So I think the Saints are going to do well.
I think Drew Brees is definitely different away from home. You know, it's a little chilly here in the Carolinas, so I don't think you're going to see a monster performance. He did pretty well against the Panthers though last time. Of course, that was in the dome.
Well, also remember the exact same situation happened. You know, the Seattle Seahawks just whooped up when you were at the game on the Saints, and then they were playing Carolina, and what happened? They got embarrassed. Now they just lost to St. Louis just this past week. So I know they're playing here in Carolina, but will the Saints lose twice?
He's had a little hand issue too.
He's got a hand.
He's got a hand.
He's got a hand. I think they run the ball quite a bit in this game, which is going to open it up for a few deep shots. I think if you got Colston, you got to start him. If you're a Jimmy Graham owner, hang on, this is what you waited for. A fantasy bowl with Jimmy Graham, get him in your lineup. He's going to score this week. You can mark that down. You can mark that down. Speaking of people needing to score, Denver skill players, should we worry too much about Thursday, or do we say, you know what, they've had 10 days to prepare and start licking our chops? You're going against several Broncos in the fantasy bowl.
I'm going against Marino, I'm going against Manning, I'm going against Decker. Decker, who I traded to this guy for, I don't remember, Reggie Wayne and his injury 6 weeks ago. Absolutely. I think more time, the better for this team. They're not going to have Welker back, it looks like.
I wouldn't worry too much about Marino. It looks like they're letting Monty ball in the game a little bit more. It looks like he's splitting time. Decker I might worry about. Manning I would certainly worry about. And hopefully Demaryius. I think Wes Welker is going to be out again this week. So
4 touchdowns for Manning. He's going for the record. I don't know how many he has now, 45, 46.
He's going to
the record's 50.
The record's going down. There's some other good games we're looking at. Hey, let's look, while we're talking about the Redskins, Dallas travels to Washington. Dallas, you talk about it, the only other team that may be in more disarray than the Redskins is the Dallas Cowboys. What do you, of course I hear Giants muttered, and I'll give you that. So basically it's the NFC East is in complete shambles, other than the Eagles. So Dallas, Washington, fantasy-wise and game-wise, who do you like?
I like Redskins. I think Romo's going to throw us another Romo game, and you know what that feels like. It's a great gift for us.
Yeah.
I'll be thanking all those Dallas fans for a great Christmas gift.
And you mentioned this before, Pern. Hopefully it comes down to the running games. Both running games are pretty solid, so hopefully it's run.
Well, as a Romo owner, and I'm keeping him in Fantasy Bowl, I hope the Redskins win 49-42. I think Witten has a big day. He seems to be a Redskin killer. Santana Moss, never worthy of a lineup, I would say, but against the Redskins, if you needed a flyer and a flex, we talked about it before. He is a cowboy killer if you're really desperate. What else have we got this week?
How about Philadelphia at Chicago at Philadelphia?
Sunday night game.
Fantasy feast.
It's a fantasy feast. That's a good term for it. You got to start everybody. Jeffrey, Marshall, Forte, Foles, Deshaun, McCoy. It's huge.
The Bears are 30th against the run. If you've got McCoy, you're excited about it. Alshon Jeffrey and Brandon Marshall are going against the worst pass defense, ranked 32nd in the NFL. Could be a field day for them. Cutler's in your lineup. Again, it's a smorgasbord. Sunday night's going to be a lot of fun. The over/under on that game
56
is 56. So there you go. Vegas says highest scoring game of the week. Like I always say, they don't build all those big buildings because they're dumb. Take a look at the points and get all your players in from that game. That's going to be a fun one.
How about Indianapolis? How about Indianapolis at Kansas City?
It's an interesting.
In Kansas City, it's always
in cold weather too.
These two teams, I think, could face off the first round of the playoffs too. I thought I was reading, so it's going to be interesting. Charles against the run D of Indy. It shouldn't be a factor because what's his name just put up 100 yards. Ben Tate put 100 yards up on them with broken ribs. So Charles all day long. Alex Smith started to throw the ball around a little bit, all to Charles, but...
And did my eyes deceive me, or did Trent Richardson score a touchdown last week?
You saw it.
I think he might have. I didn't know he knew what the end zone, how that worked. But he did. Again, if you have Trent Richardson and you spend an early pick, you're probably not in the fantasy bowl. But if you do, and you're desperate, stick him in there. There's going to be a lot of points scored. He might actually try to catch a pass out of the backfield this week. But again, that's...
Kansas City, we've seen it. They can be scored on. People are scoring 30, 40 points on them.
And I have their defense, but I'm excited about their special teams as the real deal.
So who do you got on this one?
I'm taking Kansas City. They've scored 7 special teams TDs, Pern.
Kansas City in a runaway, and I do agree with you. I didn't give my pick on the Redskins. I do think the Redskins get a win. I think
I'm taking the Redskins too. First time this year.
Redskins at home, so we got that. All right, so we got Green Bay, Pittsburgh. We can't talk about because we don't know whether Rodgers is back. you got Baltimore playing New England at Baltimore. I think that's you talk about a little slugfest right there.
That's a classic. That's a classic.
Huge implications on the line for Baltimore.
Brady's Brady of old. He looks like he's putting up points. You got Shane Vereen in PPR leagues. I mean, it's going to be fun.
I'm not a big gambler, but I'd say Brady is a 2.5 point underdog. Man, I'd take Brady in those points all day long. So. I do have to give a shout out. We talked about, I got to give props to a website. I know my man Renaldo's been talking to our friend John Hansen over at Fantasy Guru. I have been a subscriber. I think it's 12 years, maybe 13 years. If you need a site, if you can only pick one site to get your fantasy information, Fantasy Guru is the deal. They work their guts out. Good information. Love to do more stuff with those guys. But fantasyguru.com, a great way to get your projections every week, get a little insight, and some humor even every now and then. So
and the Guru knew this guy. I did a little deal on Sirius XM Satellite Radio last week with LaDainian Tomlinson and the Guru, and he mentioned you as one of those.
I don't want to brag. No, but anyway, yeah. So check them out, and we'll listen for Renaldo.
2:30 tomorrow afternoon.
2:30 tomorrow. Not sure when this is going to air.
And you guys keep talking about yourselves. The director and I will be in the championship game.
Yeah, you guys. Hey, next time we tune in, we'll be off for Christmas week, but after New Year's, we're going to do one last show to kind of give you an update on how their championship went, how my championship went, and how Renaldo's Christmas went.
I got the Christmas hat on. I'm in the festive season now.
Ironically, only one of us ever actually played on a professional team, and that was him. Although he was close. He was closer than I was.
Division 3.
Sign us off, my man.
Well, hey, man, Merry Christmas to everyone out there. We'll see you again afterwards, and we'll see what happens in the championship.
Blessings to you and yours and to Pernski.